Hello everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode journey. We're just about getting ready for the Canadian Grand Prix, which is round 9 of this career mode journey in the first season. First things first though, we do have a secret meeting with Haas. They are very interested in our skill set and what we can do, and they are reaching out for secret talks. And they're now showing us what they can offer. At the moment, it's gotta be said, I feel like with where we're at, I think we're on a more upward trajectory as it stands, but it's definitely something to think about for Season 2. However, I would like to be in a Ferrari for Season 2, so let's just keep doing the talks and see where they go. But for now, we're preparing for the Canadian Grand Prix.
In the next hour. Yes, it's time for qualifying.
It's a very overcast day in Montreal, but it's Q1. And we are pushing to do the best that we can. We are, like I said, I think we're on an upwards trajectory. We have been relatively competitive. We were running in the points last time out in Monaco before that inevitably went wrong. We're definitely pushing towards the middle of the midfield and fighting for points more often than not. So the pace is there, and we're going to keep upgrading the car and keep moving it closer and closer to the front of the mid-pack and maybe even challenge the front 3 teams. But for now it's P9, but it's not going to be good enough, so we're going to have to go again. Unfortunately, however, the second lap isn't that great and we've just hit the wall of champions, and that is going to be us out at Q1. Not just that, but we're qualifying P20 at the very back of the grid. That was unexpected, especially considering I know there is a lot more pace in the car than that, especially when Valtteri Bottas has put it P11. So that is a hugely disappointing qualifying session there, and we really do need to do much more in the race than that. So we've got a lot to do in the race from where we're starting.
Here in Montreal, lights out is quickly approaching on this artificial island originally built for the World Fair in 1967. Now it's used for a World's Fair of a different kind, ever since Formula One first arrived here. We're back in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Albon, Bottas, Ricciardo, Norris, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Sargent, and Sunshine. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And with me for this commentary this afternoon, former racing driver Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race.
Okay, this is going to take a monumental effort from you. I need you to push incredibly hard if we're going to get a good result today. Let's go and make it happen.
It's going to be very hard to get a good result from where we're at, but we're going to give it our best shot. P20 for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Magnussen's got a slow start. Both Hasses have actually got not a great start. We're going to try and get them both round the outside of one. No such move available. In fact, Magnussen's down the inside of Ocon. I'm alongside Hülkenberg though, trying to force my way through there. I think we have got past Hülkenberg. No, we haven't. Hülkenberg getting back through. I'm going to try and outbrake him into the chicane, and that is Hülkenberg overtaken. Next up, we've got Esteban Ocon ahead of us, who's just been overtaken by Kevin Magnussen. We're going to dive down the inside of Ocon and hopefully get that done. We have got that done, so we are up 3 places already. That is a great way to start. We've got Gasly and Magnussen up ahead, so hopefully we shouldn't find too much difficulty in getting past them as we head round the chicane and are heading towards the hairpin for the first time. And I've forgotten to turn overtake off, which is giving me a very strong opening lap. But it means I am going to be a little bit vulnerable down this straight with limited overtake. And Magnussen is going to be that much harder to overtake. So it's going to be a little bit back to the drawing board. And Esteban Ocon's trying to have a go down the inside, but no way through there. Right, now we're going to try and get Magnussen into turn 1. We're going to go down the inside. And that was quite a smooth overtake, but Magnussen's still fighting us. We're now side by side round the hairpin, going down in the run to the chicane. He's still alongside. I'm going to brake a bit later and sweep around the outside. And that, we are now ahead of Magnussen and up into P16. So we have gained a couple of positions, and Lando Norris has gone very wide there. He's now fighting Pierre Gasly. Those two are having a bit of a ding-dong battle. Norris now trying to go back at Gasly. They're side by side heading into the chicane, and they're backing each other up so much I'm going to get past the pair of them. Thank you very much, boys. You two scrap amongst yourselves. I'm taking the position. See you later. And we're now watching Kevin Magnussen as he has a massive lock-up into the chicane, and he comes back on the circuit straight into the path for Logan Sargent, and that gives Sargent some slight front wing damage. We've now been given the objective on lap 7 to get ahead of Stroll by lap 11, so we want to get past Lance as soon as possible and then start fighting Daniel Ricciardo if we have the momentum to do so. Lando Norris, though, is going to be coming up behind us. The McLaren driver is going to be super quick, but he's outside our DRS and he might have Gasly to deal with. And the DRS, as we've seen in this game, has been very powerful, so it's often hard for AI drivers to break away out of DRS trains. And at the moment, I seem to be a little bit in one from Ricciardo, and that's why we're struggling past Stroll. But look at this, look at the run we got out of the final chicane. We're now right up behind Lance Stroll. We're going to have a look down the inside of the Canadian driver in his home race. And the overtakes just don't get much smoother than that, do they? And in fact, Ricciardo's part of another train. I can't see who's leading it. It's whoever's ahead of Bottas. But we're now running in P13, and Stroll is thinking of coming back at me here. I was then able to get the DRS because I had a dodgy lap. I fell behind Ricciardo. Stroll's having a go down the inside. No way through for Lance, but I'm now losing time fighting the Aston Martin, and Bottas and Ricciardo are getting further ahead. That is not what we need as we go quite deep into one. We need to be pushing a bit harder and not losing time. We've caught back up to them now, but Bottas has gotten ahead of Albon. So it was Albon in P10 who was leading the train. Bottas now leads this little DRS train, and I need to start finding my way past drivers, otherwise we are going to be stuck here. And believe me, that is the last place I want to be. So, heading into the chicane once again. Bang, bang, over the curbs. Now we're going to have a look down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Nope, it's going to have to be round the outside of turn 1. But we're able to get round the outside of Ricciardo, move up into P12. And now we're just 2 places outside of the points with Bottas holding that elusive P10. Albon right behind him though. He is not willing to let Bottas get away. We kissed the barrier a little bit there, but I'm pretty sure we've gotten away with that as we now try and find a way to get past Alex Albon. There is a little move here that I want to try round the outside. Is that going to work? He's got better momentum, but as soon as we get into the second part of the chicane, Albon naturally has the better line out of the corner and is able to get on the throttle better, and we lose time trying that one. Now down the back straight once again. Are we going to be able to get Albon here? Answer, no. We're not really getting close enough to do it, and Albon is getting very close to Bottas, so I want to try and get through as soon as possible, because if Albon gets ahead and he tries pulling clear, it's going to be very difficult to catch him. We're not able to get through into one, and Albon sticking to the rear of Bottas But I'm going to have another look round the outside here. We've got a better run this time. But Albon is offline and he still gets a better exit than me. And Albon we're just not able to pass him. And Daniel Ricciardo's having a look round the outside there, but there's no way that move's going to work. Ricciardo having to back out, and we're now into the pits. Can we do anything about Albon in this pit stop? Off go the tyres, on go a fresh set of hards, and yes, we do jump Alex Albon in the pits. So a faster pit stop gets us clear of Alex Albon. We've also got to charge our ERS as part of our mini objective, which isn't really helping us move forward at this stage, but yeah, it's there. Right, back in the race, we're P11, but we're waiting for the drivers who started on hards to pit in to see where we filter out in the pack. And actually, we're going to filter out in P9, just ahead of Oscar Piastri. So that's a job well done there, isn't it? A nice little undercut that has put us quite comfortably into the points. Although Albon is threatening from behind, we've got a yellow flag in front. That's Sergio Perez pulling over. Perez is out of the race. So that's another point for us, another place for us up into P8 and looking at 4 points if we finish there. But Piastri's diving down the inside and there was very little I could do about that. Oscar Piastri super fast on them fresh medium tyres, and he is going to get after Yuki Tsunoda as quickly as he can. But I'm hoping to stay with Oscar relatively, because if I can stay with him, I can bring myself closer to Tsunoda and bring myself maybe a couple more points again. So we're still in P9, Albon in P10. He is not giving up, is he? And we're not giving up on Piastri either. But the McLaren is simply that much faster that fighting him would be an exercise in futility. So we're just going to stay back for now and follow him as he brings us closer to Yuki Tsunoda. That's the plan. I am sticking to it. Lap 24 out of 35. Not long to go now. We get to lap 28 and Piastri has got past Tsunoda, and now it's our turn to have a go at the VCARB driver. And we've got not many laps to go, but there's another train somewhat ahead of Oscar Piastri, and if we catch that, we may be able to gain a couple more places yet. This race is just coming to us bit by bit, and we're now getting ready to attack Yuki Tsunoda. Look, there it is. There's that other train. It's headed by a Mercedes. I'm not sure which one, but we've got enough pace to start catching that train. And if anything, that is a super encouraging sign that all the upgrades are doing everything they should be and then some. As I have a little look down the inside of Tsunoda into the chicane, but there's no way through there. We're just going to have to do it on the pit straight into turn 1. And you know what? We're going to dive down the inside, and that is as textbook as it gets. Up the inside, up into P8, ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. And now we're on lap 31. There's a yellow flag. I think it's where there's a back marker slowing everything up. I'm not sure. No, it's behind us. So the yellow flag is behind us, and I have a feeling it might be Alex Albon, because he was right there with us at one point, and he's dropped back quite significantly. Yes, it is Alex Albon pulling off. Albon in the Williams out of the Canadian Grand Prix. And look at this, we have caught the train now, but we want to start getting past drivers. Otherwise, we're just going to get stuck here. And that's the problem with these trains, is that you do end up, like in real F1, you just get stuck in a long train, battling other cars. We're trying to find momentum where we can to try and get past Oscar Piastri. And we've got 3 laps to make up ground, if possible. So we're going to try and do that right now. Look how much of the curb we're using. We're really pushing here as we give Oscar Piastri a little kiss there at the hairpin, just from late braking. Open the DRS. Can we do anything here? I think we're going to try at the very least, but again, Piastri is just as stuck as we are, which is unfortunate for him because he has those fresh medium tyres, which Alonso doesn't have. But we also have a great run out of the chicane, and we're going to dive down the inside of Oscar Piastri get that move done. We've got Logan Sargent blocking Fernando Alonso now. Sargent's going to pull off to the right, and guess what? Alonso didn't get the best run, so we're going to have a look down the inside of Alonso too, and we're going to take P6. That is great opportunistic overtaking there. We had to go for it. As soon as Alonso got backed up, I wasn't going to hesitate, and we managed to take P6 as a result. Hamilton and Sainz are up next. They're battling each other, but I don't think we've got the time to catch up, and in fact we don't. And we've now got Fernando Alonso coming at us towards the end of this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is the winner of the Canadian Grand Prix, but now I've got to try and keep Fernando Alonso behind down the straight. He's going to be using everything he can to try and get past us. He's now alongside. Alonso is through, but we're going to go back to the left and break that bit later, and Alonso caught napping under brakes there. We retake P6, and from the back of the grid, we finish in P6. That is a very strong race for us. Lots of positives to take. I am really happy with that.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again, because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
And it's one thing to win, but to win like that in total dominant style, that was a fantastic drive, and it is not one that we see very often.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Max Verstappen winning the Canadian Grand Prix by 11 seconds over George Russell. Charles Leclerc is third, and it's Hamilton, Sainz, myself, Alonso, Piastri, Tsunoda and Stroll rounding out the points. But that gap from Max Verstappen, that's a devastating win. That's just Max doing what Max does. Although the lap times, Russell's fastest lap was quicker than Max's, interestingly, and Oscar Piastri obviously getting the point for fastest lap, and there's your two DNFs. So in terms of the championship, Verstappen now extending his lead to Alonso, Leclerc in third, Norris fourth, Sainz fifth, then it's Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Piastri and Stroll completing the top 10. But we start gaining on Lance just a little bit here. And then Tsunoda, Albon and Gasly are directly behind us. But another 8 championship points. I can't frown at that. And that just furtherly cements P6 in the Constructors for us for now. Visa Cash App RB are 14 behind us. But Red Bull are just extending that Constructors lead at the moment, with Ferrari in second and Aston Martin in third. Well, thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you are new here and you want to see further content from me. I've been Joe. Thank you once again for watching. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care. See you all soon.